you. Obviously some great news for Emma at the end of this episode. What was your reaction when you read this script and saw that they were going to move in together?
It's about time.
And Emma's had such a long journey. She's as the savior, and it's been tough for her. How has that weighed down on her and affected her outlook on life?
I think she's not quite sure yet. That's kind of what we're exploring this season with Emma is almost the post-traumatic stress of going from being a sort of normal person to having these life or death situations all the time and never really having time to process it or figure out what that means or have a normal day. And so I think she's unraveling a little bit, trying to figure out how to find herself within that, who she really is.
And Adam and Eddie, why do you seem to enjoy torturing this character so much?
Yeah, tell me.
Oh, I think she tortures herself.
Oh, no, it's my fault.
Well, no, man, the character's taking on a life of her own.
Because life isn't always easy, and Emma kind of, you know, what I love most about Emma is her strength. No matter what happens, she keeps persevering. And so we keep giving her obstacles and she keeps beating them. So I think that's kind of what we like.
And along those lines, Snow had a great line towards the end there about defeat and repeat. So what are the challenges taking your sixth season now and no end in sight? What are the challenges of taking your characters on these journeys where it can't all be bad news, but it can all be good news?
Well, I mean, that's one of the themes that we started to explore in this episode and continue to explore this season, which is this idea of what is normal. So if we're always fighting bad guys and doing all this stuff, these characters also need to find a way to have lives and normal lives, and that's one of the challenges. We want to explore them as people, and they are people, and you know, despite some of them being fairies and dragons and stuff.
And I want to mention the relationship with Emma and Hook, but it seems to be pretty popular in this room.
I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. That wasn't clear.
So what can you tease us about the arc? Obviously this is a great step for them, but it probably won't be smooth sailing all the way, I'm guessing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You guys know things I don't know.
I think that they're going to, I think the thing we love about Hook and Emma is that we're trying to show a real relationship. And we all know that right now she's keeping something from him. A secret, and I think that what we like to explore with the two of them is how they deal with the real life stuff in a real way. They fight the fantastical together, but the little relationship stuff I think we're going to continue to see kind of play out for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like anything with the show. A happy ending isn't an end point. It's a continuing process, and I think as Emma and Hook reach new levels and new milestones, like we'll see that there's new challenges along the way.
Yeah, it's something I've really enjoyed about what they've done with Hook and Emma in general is that a lot of times on television, when you have two characters that come together, they try to find ways to keep them apart all the time. And on this show, they've actually let these characters be together, and now they're exploring the intricacies of it and the nuances of it. And, now eventually them living in the same house, and what does that mean, and the daily ins and outs of things, and how does Henry fit into that, and Emma has a secret, and what does Hook do about it when he finds out, and if Hook has a secret, what does she do, and so it's stuff that I feel like, even though we're dealing with fairy tale characters on a metaphorical level, it starts to feel more connected to real life, and the stuff that we all go through in real life, so it's been fun.
I mean, they're now, with Hook moving in, going to share the DVR list together, so... she has made space, not only her closet, but TV for Hook as well.
But Hook has a great attachment for changing light bulbs. He's
got a lot of special skills.
That's my cue to change the subject. Another strong part of Emma's story is her ever-changing relationship with Regina. And also a popular relationship in this movie. And what I love about their relationship is that it's two strong women and it has nothing to do with a man or any men in it. But they've had their ups and downs, and this year it's kind of a three-way relationship with the evil queen in the picture. So, come on.
Taxi?
So just wanted to get your reflections on...
well, you know, when we started the show, the very first thing Regina wanted was for Emma to leave town. She wanted sole control of Henry, and she didn't want anyone to know about the curse. And I think part of the fun of 6 seasons later is, once again, the evil queen is standing in the way of people getting their happy endings, but now Emma doesn't have to fight the fight alone. She has Regina at her side. And so for us, it is kind of that growth in their friendship, and really in a weird way, Regina seems to me closer to Snow, even though she tried to kill her for all those years. And I think that the one with Emma is, you know, I think that they're friends, but she always runs to your mom first.
You know,
She does.
And there's a secret, she's always like, yeah, I know I tried to get your heart, but what do you think about this?
No, I think the relationship between Regina and Snow is a complicated one as well, and as we saw in the premiere this year, and there's more of that kind of stuff coming up. But as for Emma and Regina, what's, you know, so much has been so interesting to write and see you guys bring to life is the evolution, watching like just the pure hatred in the first couple of episodes turn into pure friendship, and like how it's a complicated friendship and not easy.
I think that's really important in general, just because you have really three strong, well, all of the women on the show are strong in different ways, but you know, when you look at Snow and you look at Regina and you look at Emma, we have three strong women who are prominent on the show. And instead of having them in cat fights and having them against each other and having them try to tear each other down, you have three strong women who are fighting for each other and fighting to build each other up and fighting to make each other better. That makes me proud to be a part of this show, because I think that's something we need more of in the world. I think yes, we want to have gender equality, but we also need to be good to each other. We need to take care of each other. We need to build each other up. So I'd say, you know, I feel like it's an example of something to be very inspired by. You know, I'm inspired by the way Eddie and Adam write these women. I'm inspired every day to be a better woman and a better friend because of the way they write these women. So that's what I think is really special about all three of them. Both, you know, both her relationship with Regina and her relationship with Snow.
And we're going to open it up to fan questions in a minute, so if you want to, I guess there are mics down there you want to line up, but I did want to just ask, before we start that, if Adam and Eddie, if you could tease us a little bit more about Untold Stories. You're kind of doling that out, little bits and pieces in these first few episodes. What more can you tell us about the next few weeks?
Well, I can tell you next week we're going to get the origin story of Jekyll and Hyde, and we're going to see how Rumpel affected their lives. It's, you can imagine, not in a positive way. Episode 5.
And then not long after that, we get the next episode is Aladdin and Jasmine.
And 6 is Captain Hook. So we're going to get people coming from the land of untold stories. We're going to get some origin stories, but you know, like always, I think they're there to kind of further our main characters, and we're going to see some interesting growth from everyone.
All right, sorry. So fan questions, we'll jump between mics. We'll start on this side. Say your name before you ask your question, please.
Hi, my name's Karishma. I'm from New Jersey. Jen, I saw you, I'm sorry I called you Jen, but I couldn't help myself. Jennifer, I saw you last year at last year's Comic-Con. You were amazing in that panel, and I got to go to the photo op with you. So thank you for doing that for your fans, first of all. I know you do it every time you come here. It is hugely appreciated. Then my question for you is, you were so amazing as the Dark Swan last season. Rumpelstiltskin is still the boss, but you gave him a run for his money, big time.
I agree.
So, how did playing the evil version of Emma Swan impact how you think her character is now? Like, how has it educated her growth, her evolution?
I think it was really critical for her development, because I think when you're someone who feels like, when you're someone who's compelled to do the right thing all the time, at least at the level of which Emma is, there's something limiting about that in terms of your own self-discovery. And so I think for her to be shoved into this circumstance where she didn't have the same limits and the same boundaries, and she explored the darker parts of herself, and she sort of almost exercised certain things in herself. I think she learned a lot about herself, and I think she was very humbled by it. I think when you're dealing with the things that she dealt with as the Dark Swan, or facing the darkness within herself, making decisions that were bad decisions and having to pay the price for that and the repercussions of that, I think she's humbled by that, and I think that she has a different kind of respect when she's dealing with Regina, or she's dealing with Gold, or when she's dealing with someone who is struggling with the darkness in a different way than she ever understood before, because now she actually knows what that means in a more tangible way. So I think she's a more humble hero because of it.
Thank you, Annie and Adam, for writing that whole arc. It was amazing. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I have something to say before I ask my question. So there's going to be a Once Upon a Time cosplay photo shoot at 6 o'clock in front of main stage near the food court. Once again, 6 o'clock. All cosplayers in here, I want to see you there.
Awesome. That is awesome. I want to see that picture.
I want to see that.
Please.
I see a lot of red jacket Emmas out there.
So my question is kind of a two-parter. The first part is about Anastasia from Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. When the Jabberwocky was probing her brain, we figured out that she was the daughter of Lady Tremaine and the stepsister of Cinderella. So what I'm confused about is in the episode we watched, that's clearly not the case. So what I wanted to hear was a clarification from you on that, and will we see Anastasia again?
Are we speaking English? I'm so lost.
I'm not sure it was definitively explained that way by the Jabberwocky in Wonderland, but if you go to me on Twitter at Adam Horowitz LA, we can have a more in-depth discussion than we can do right now. But let's talk later.
All right, thank you. Outlaw, happy ending too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yasmin. This question is for Jen. I wanted to know how you felt about your character Emma from season 1 to, I'm sure this question has been asked. How you feel about Emma's growth from season 1 until now, how you feel about how she is as a person, how she is with her family, just sort of as an actor, sort of seeing that sort of go.
Yeah, so what I say all the time is, part of my favorite part of being on this show is that I get to play a character who's truly evolving and changing, and that's so rare on television. So often you're really serving a purpose, and you serve that same purpose over and over again. So creatively, it's a wonderful challenge to be able to keep growing as Emma. And she started off so closed off and so hurt and so kind of barricaded. I always pictured her just literally barricaded. And I don't think she ever had hope that she was going to love or have a family. I think that she had ideas of it or fantasies of it, but it just never seemed like it could be a reality for her. And once it became a possibility, then there was the fear of how much pain could come in if she opened herself up to that. So then there was that whole journey and what that meant, and then she became evil for a while and what that meant. So, you know, I think that right now what you're seeing is a woman who for 6 years has really grown and changed. She's been open to grow, and she's been open to become a stronger, better version of herself, and she still makes mistakes, and she still has to pay the repercussions for those mistakes. She gets back up, and now instead of doing it by herself, she has her family by her side, and she has Hook by her side, and she has friends, you know. And so I think that for me, I look at it just personally, how important it is to keep the people close that you love and the people that you trust and you care about, and know that that we do all make mistakes, and how important it is to sort of see past that and really see the love and lean into the love.
Thank you so much, and thank you for making this show that is giving us hope every week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.